Hi, it's Mike. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about my favorite article spinner, and it was just Spin ReWriter. Now, the nice thing about using spinning tools like this is that you can create an article once and use it multiple times without having to rewrite it, because it actually creates different versions for you. Now, in a previous video, I gave you an overview of Spin ReWriter. So now in this video here, I'm going to talk specifically on how I use it to generate our articles that we use for posting to our Tier 1, our parasitic websites, so we can actually backlink our main site. Okay, so I'm going to show you. This is an article that I have written here, and the first thing that I do is once I'm ready to go, I'll actually do is I create 2 spaces before headings, 1 space after, and 1 space after paragraphs, and you'll see later on exactly why I do that. But it actually helps me identify where the headings are and where the paragraphs are. And because once you start taking this, once you take this into Spin ReWriter, you're actually going to lose a lot of this formatting from here. So there we go. I'm going to select all, copy. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop it right in. I use hotkeys for this. Control C for copy, Control V and Victor for pasting. But there's other ways. Everybody has their own way. You can do like a right click or something like that if you wanted to. But as you can see here, I lost all the formatting, and that's why you can see the advantage of the spaces that I just created before I actually pasted it in. Okay. So now I have everything in, and now what I'm going to do here is I have some settings that I keep for every time. I want Spin ReWriter to rewrite complete sentences, to rewrite the entire paragraphs, okay, and also to restructure phrases and sentences. Now, I don't like the option, quite honestly, where it adds additional paragraphs, because what it does, it borrows from other paragraphs and repeats it, and it's kind of goofy. Now, unless you don't care about the legibility of posts, I would recommend leaving it unchecked. If you do not care at all, check it, and it'll actually create even more variation for you. Okay. So now we have article in, we've got the initial settings done. I'm going to start the rewriting process. Now, basically, this is really cool because what it does, it takes an overall view and recreates the overall structure for the entire thing. And these are, again, like I said before, this is the exact same steps that I use for our own blog posts. Okay, so almost done. It just is going through everything. It's actually a pretty simple step here. And so now it's done the initial cut. And it's basically, you can see here, it's highlighted some major terms. And it's done already some initial spin text. Okay. Now, what I like to do here is go ahead and jump right to the point where I take a look at this. I can see I have 80% unique. Now, ideally, you want to have 90% or higher, and that's why we go to the next step, because otherwise we can generate even more versions at 65,000. Okay. So what I like to do here is I like to do one-click rewrite settings. Now, in this case here, I like to keep the settings right here on medium readability. Okay, if you don't really care if it's readable, okay, you're actually putting yourself a little bit higher risk. You'll have a lot more variation. Use articles a lot more. But I think down the road, personally, I think that Google's going to get a little smarter, and then we have a little more grammar checking in it. And it's going to look more for the rewriting process, for article spinners. And I don't like to risk that. Okay, so and plus two, I get traffic to these blog posts, these other websites. And so I want it to be legible. I don't want them to represent, not look horrible, look like someone like maybe a grade 2 or grade 3 level wrote these things. So I usually keep it on medium. If you click on here and correct, you're going to lose a lot of the variation you're going to have, and you're not going to be able to spin it as much. So if you want to spin it maybe just a couple times, maybe correct, and then read it through to rewrite it just a little bit, because it's going to still be a little bit off, but it will give you the variation you're looking for. But if you're looking at, like I'm using it for a lot of websites, creating backlinks, keep it on the medium settings. Now here you can actually change the phrase you want to use. Say for instance, this article here, I want the online marketing system not to change. So I type this in. Oops. Okay. Next line, online marketing system. These phrases will not change. Okay. ReWriter, if I didn't put this in here, it may put different words, maybe internet marketing, or change the words around. Now this is good if you want to have like particular keywords or anchor text that you want to use that you want to make sure does not get changed on you. Okay, so you freeze that in time, and then all you do now is start the one-click rewrite process. And this takes a little while. Okay, you can see here it starts generating all these different versions. We can watch here as it's working. It's actually creating all these different variations using this code. Now, for instance, one word, okay, the different variations is covered by these two parentheses. Okay, so you can see here. Let me see if I can. It looks like it's going to run down here while it's still processing. So let's go over here. So for instance, this word right here between these two parentheses is new and brand new. Okay, so it's going to alternate between those two words. And then it's going to look at here, and this next word right behind it is invention, innovative, creation, or development. It's going to alternate between those words here. So you see, just by these two words side by side, you now have, was it 4 times 2, was it 8 different variations of that? So you see now, if you keep adding that up for an entire article, I went from 8 variations just from 2 words. You magnify that, say, maybe by 600, 700 words, how many different variations you're going to get. Now, let's see here. I think this one actually was a report in the bottom here. Yeah, so you can see here it's got billions of different versions and 99% unique on average. So that's pretty cool. Now, what I like to do is quickly kind of go through the whole thing here and see if there's any other words that I want to vary. So you look here, I froze online marketing, so it didn't change. But maybe let's take a look here. So if I were to do system, I can see, is there anything I could want to do to replace it as an alternate? So I say maybe I'll do process. So I just click on it. And maybe program. Maybe I'll do online marketing product. Okay? Platform. Okay? So you can see different choices. It keeps adding different variations. Okay? Now, you'll see here I keep my main keywords I want to try to target here. The main focus, in this case here, is I'm online marketing system. I keep it XXX. You're going to see what I do afterwards on why I won't even touch this until the very end. So you go ahead and do that. I'm not going to do that for all of these, but you want to go through and see, especially on headings, I find, those are the times that often it won't do a whole lot of variation. And so I might want to choose different, see if I can find different synonyms. If not, if I know some, I can actually enter it in here. So maybe I can say here, online marketing program. Okay, it adds a different variation right there, so you can actually type them in as well, and then it saves it here for you. And that can always unselect it if I change my mind. Okay, so that's it here. So now, say I'm happy with this overall thing here. I'm ready to go. So now I can go ahead and continue to the final step. Okay, this takes a little while. Okay. Oh, this was a little faster, okay? I guess because my computer is not, I have not as many processes running, but it ran pretty fast. It's all ready to go. So you can see here it's done all the spin text, okay, all throughout the whole thing. Okay, and if we look here, we can see here it actually even has parentheses inside parentheses, so it actually gives different options. So for instance, here it says both, it either does both, or the two, and it does either number 2 or the word 2. And so you can actually have embedded kind of code like that, kind of gives you different variations. So remember, the pipe symbol here represents or. Now, I said before, we have done here, it's got everything done except for our main product name. And so this is where you can actually have different names if you have for different products. Maybe you have product X, okay, maybe one version of the name, maybe the product X system, or the product X solution. You know what I mean? Different variations of the name. Often you have a name of a product or some major keyword, you can think of a lot of different variations. So this is where I type in a whole bunch. Okay, and I know I'm going to repeat it, and every time I see the words XXX, I'll go ahead and replace it. Okay, control copy, control paste, and I'll go through the entire thing and do it that way. Okay, I won't bother doing it through here because I want to keep this video relatively short. So once I have the whole thing done, okay, I'll actually make sure I like the title, and then I'll also I'll test everything out. And I'll hit generate a unique version. You can see here this is 98% unique. It means it's actually it did a really good spinning job. Now you can see here I have some XXXs I didn't replace yet, but again, you just go ahead and get all those, copy and paste. And so now you actually have everything set up. Now, the funny thing I found, even though it's here, and you'll find that that it won't actually have the double spaces before headings. So for some reason, when you generate a unique version, it doesn't do that. But at least you still see, it's pretty easy to identify where the headings are. Now, often what I'll do is I'll actually put the headings all capitalized. I find that's most effective for using this tool. But again, it depends on what you prefer to do. This works efficiently the way I did it. Okay, so all you do now is Control All copy. So Control A for all, Control C for copy, or if you're using a Mac, I think it's Command, or whether it's Open Apple, A or whatever it is, whatever the hotkey is. Or you can just go ahead and select the whole thing. Yeah, you're going to have to select the whole thing. You can't just triple check it. So if I want to do the whole thing, I just go ahead and copy it, and then mouse click, copy. Okay, or however else you want, prefer to do it. Okay, and then just paste it to wherever you want it to go. It's really that simple. Okay, so I hope this this video was very informative. I really enjoy Spin ReWriter, and if you want to learn more about it, click the link below. Okay, thank you.